So yesterday we learned about how meditation is relieving stress and overall well-being, increasing well-being. So just that alone, meditation helping overall well-being and depression is one of those aspects. What is depression? Once we start a thought, let's say I'm not good enough. People don't like me. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. I tried hard, but it's just not happening. I work really hard, but I'm just not able to score. I prepare so well, but I just forget when it comes to the exam. I've been interviewing, but it just don't seem to be clicking for me. So when we have this and it's occurring repeatedly, then that's thought of the cycle starts, right? The cycle does not stop. When the cycle starts and that does not stop, then it's a recurring thought going and going and going, and one leads to the other, where we start judging ourselves to be very, very of low value. Our self-esteem starts going down. We become very highly self-critical. So we feel good for nothing because it's all going in a repetitive cycle, because we just continue on when things happen which we feel are very important but it's not happening to us. So as that happens, naturally we start pulling back, because there's on one side, when we are very so self-critical, so there's no confidence anymore, then we start pulling back from the routine affairs. When friends come and say, hey, I'm in a mood, so don't come to me. It's okay, I'm fine, I'll come back. I'll come and join you guys. You guys carry on for dinner. You go out on a weekend, he says, okay, I'll join you later. So this cycle has to be broken. Now, where is all this coming? Where is this whole thing is happening in that center called amygdala. There is a fear center. Now, this happens also when the brain is producing two chemicals called serotonin, and there is a similar chemical called nephrine. So these chemicals, when they are less, feeling good, the chemicals, they're called neurotransmitters. When they're less, then everything is linked up. The chemicals are less, the beta state of the brainwave states is high. Our fear center, which is amygdala, is expanding because we have more and more thought, and our long-term memory is shrinking. There are all that is called hippocampus. They're all are very connected. So the more we think of this way, the amygdala center is more and more get active. The fear center or the emotional center gets more active. And as it gets more active, it is producing more chemical into the body to make the body to feel, and hence another thought. It goes back and signals another thought into the brain, which will cause more chemicals. So it is a loop, right? So doctors, when they want to treat for people with a depression, guess what? They're giving, oftentimes, whatever that we take, produce that chemical called neurotransmitter called serotonin. It produces that, by the way. That chemical that we take, tablet we take, is literally that, which is producing some more of serotonin, so that it sort of makes you feel, overcome some of this thought that otherwise keep coming back again and again and again. And when they're doing these tablets, they also have an effect. They lower the brainwave state. It is also found when you are in a slow brainwave state, then people are able to come out of these depressive thoughts. Now, guess what? Meditation is fundamentally solving all of them. Much, much better as a medication for anyone having depression in comparison to taking any medical treatment. They've done a study in over 20 sessions of meditation. They found that people who have some chronic depressions, they got better, 80% better, without taking any medication. They did, in comparison, people who are taking medication, and they did some set of people who are doing with meditation. In about 20 sessions, the sessions are spaced a little apart. Meditation session I'm talking about. At the end of 20 sessions, they got 80% better. That means they're almost in the verge of getting over their depression. 20 sessions. Think of it as 20 days, 3-week program. Meditation is naturally slowing the brain waves. We know that. By now we've understood that. From a high beta, which is causing us to think actively and then keeping us very, very active, worried, anxious, thoughts too, it slows it down. The meditation actually slowing it down, just the way some of this medication is doing it. Meditation one of the reasons for when you have this anxiety, depressions, what they observed is that the long-term memory center is shrinking. When the long-term memory is shrinking, once depression increases even more. For many people, suppose the memory center is shrinking, what happens? We're not able to recollect things in time. When we can't recollect things, then we are worried, right? But meditation is working the opposite. It is expanding this long-term memory center, amygdala. So it gains your memory back so that you're able to recollect. This may not be in the youth. This could more prevalent into the senior citizens. When the memories start fading out, then we start feeling we go into some kind of depression because we can't even remember people, we can't even have engage a conversation properly. Then we start losing confidence ourselves. We start withdrawing from the public. So depression or obsessive compulsive disorders where somebody is just OCD is called, right? OCD, that you just cannot get over your thing. You got to clean and clean and clean and clean. Some will have this OCD, right? And you got to be you're like one becomes a perfectionist. We want to be absolute perfection. You call it potentially maniac, right? Cannot see anything imperfection. So it's called obsessive compulsive disorder. OCDs, many of these, which are based on a repetitive thought which cannot be controlled, which basically leads to depression, can absolutely be controlled with meditation, just even based on the scientific studies, because it is producing a ton of that serotonin chemical, and it's related to there's another chemical. There are a bunch of other chemicals, but primarily serotonin is the lead one. It's decreasing the activity in your amygdala, which is the fear center, shrinks it, expands the long-term memory center, slows down the brain waves. All of these are the various benefits of brain waves, and automatically, because it's wholesome, it's not acting in one area. Unlike a medication, which is, God knows what are the various side effects, we know that, right? The side effects of any medication that's going into the brain, working on the brain, oftentimes they're all the steroids, it's got a lot of side effect. So very, very easy solution for any mental disorder, meditation. First and foremost, that one is gaining benefit is mental health. Another reason how it is happening is that with meditation, we become very highly self-aware. We are in the present moment. I'm thinking about myself. Okay, I'm not good. Just to take the example, I prepare so well, but when I go to the exams, I just forget, and so I fail. So you tried hard, 3 times, 4 times it happened. Now you're a final chance. So we're just so worried. Then we go into this depression. What's the point? I work so hard, but I can't even win. I can't even perform well in exams. So we go. This leads into the depression. Now one leads to the depression, and we go into the depression, more active center, and more stressful, and obviously our cognitive brain is further getting worse, and as a result then you cannot perform even better. The performance becomes even worse, right? When cognitive function is diminished, capability is diminished because you have the stress hormone in the body, then our performance further goes down. So it becomes a cycle, right? An effect. And so with meditation, that self-awareness increases. Self-awareness means at any given time observing what's my thought pattern, what's my emotional pattern, what's my reaction pattern to something. All these three, we become very aware. So when the moment we become aware, then we have an opportunity to correct it, right? So if I'm constantly thinking that this time I'm going to just fail, last time also I tried so hard, it just didn't work, I'm a jerk, I just don't have this capability, I think it's just going to be another horrible exam day, whatever that is, it's another horrible interview day, I just can't seem to be open up and then talk and give a proper answer to what you're asking. That chatter in meditation, when you regularly meditate, you become so self-aware that you suddenly catch it, right? We catch that. The moment we catch that very thought, then we have an opportunity to correct it, right? We have an opportunity to hold it there before it goes into the body, before we realize it goes into the body triggers off another chemical going back into the brain again. So self-awareness helps us to observe our thought, and hence as a result, not act on it, instead let it pass, and hence it dies down slowly. So dear friends, with all these various reasons, people naturally, just when you regularly meditate without doing any medication, one can easily come out of depression, right? Let's go into a meditation once again with this simple breath mindfulness meditation, just observing a normal natural breath. If any of your friends, or relatives, colleagues, anybody has this condition that you notice, you will have done the greatest service to them by just introducing the simple meditation. They will be lifetime thanking you forever for getting them out of this, right? Because we know that. We know that people who have addictions, people who have depressions, anxieties, worries, they all, when they come out of it, they say, hey, my life is just transformed. Thank you. Who doesn't want that? Relax yourself, sit comfortably.
Sir, I'm just muting everyone. Just unmute yourself once.
We'll go into this. We'll go into the simple breath mindfulness meditation once again. That is so generously giving all the benefits: physical vitality, intelligence to succeed, emotional quotient increased, a big picture thinking, a heightened thought power to manifest things, enormous big picture thinking to make a difference in our life, when whatever we do and contribute to make a difference, live a purposeful life. When we are having this mindfulness meditation, this simple breath observation is giving all the benefits. Why would we not really make it our lives? Relax ourselves. Sit comfortably, friends, with your eyes closed. We are doing breath mindfulness meditation, which is closing your eyes, fingers into fingers. Rest your hands comfortably in your lap and observe a normal, natural breath. Most of the time, we're going to spend in that and observing a breath. And as you observe the breath, mind become empty of thoughts, and slowly we start observing emptiness all around us, which is also can be experienced as energy. So we stay witness to everything that happens in meditation while we are observing our breath. And before that, we are doing a small heart elevation process where we fill up our hearts with heightened emotion of love, gratitude, compassion, any of them. Who will share how is the meditation today?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, go ahead, madam.
Sir, I joined 40-day session also, and now I joined youth session also. Sir, it is wonderful experience for me. Before starting meditation, means my condition was seriously worst condition. I was in worst situation. Means 2 years back, I lost my 2 brothers also. Our family was in literally depressed mood. And 40 days after, we are finding to get a change, we are finding some new things in our life. I'm studying a BAMS final year. I couldn't due to that incidents and all, I couldn't concentrate in my studies. I was so dull and nil in my studies. After that, my Prashanti ma'am, she's gynecologist, Prasuti doctor. She invited us to meditation. After that, we came to know about you people and all. By that, we started meditating. So we feel so good, and of fear, and first I was a student non-vegetarian. Now I completely vegetarian. So much change in me. It's so much, means so much. I'm telling my parents also to meditate, and they're also meditating, but not completely. I'm not with them. I'm in hostel, but they've started meditation. So it's changing a lot.
What
in their health is.
What changes for you?
Sir, means I was mentally ill and I was suffering from dermatitis. By past 1 year, I was suffering from dermatitis, loss of skin issues and all. So it day by day is decreasing, and my mental health, fear also it is, and I used to get too much angry. My anger also decreased, fear also decreased, and 15 days back, I completed a theory exam, final year BMS exam. Means when I go to exam, means exam is I used to fear a lot. I couldn't concentrate on studies and all. This time, happily I wrote exam. Means without fear, I concentrate like anything. I studied completely, and it was happy, somewhat inner happiness while writing exam. So many changes, sir, like this. And
Nice.
still, I want to train. I want to means continue this meditation lifelong, and I used to by this I used to help people also.
Sure, you're going to help. Thank you so much, Sindhu, for sharing.
Thank you so much, sir.
That's lovely. Excellent.
Yeah, I started this 21-day program, and
While sharing, folks, you know, here, Jagadish sir is there, professor from IIM. You know, I've been an exec at IBM where I use meditation so much, significantly, and even having a major business outcome. And many leaders here, like Ravindra or Sudha Madam, who's a businesswoman from Dubai, we're all there to share and understand and guide. And then if you don't, what is there? Another 4 days later, we are gone, right? We're gone. Then you're going to question yourself, why did I even go to this program? Because I've not even opened up and then shared or spoken. You don't have to have any big experience. No, it's not required that everybody heals a medical condition. Everybody heals something, right? It's about, are you feeling that energy? Are you feeling any sensation? Are you becoming empty if you feel? Is too much thought coming? How did you feel about this class yesterday, which is saying that stress, that emotional charge, which is keeping us in that fight or flight mode? So do you have any observation about it? Just share. That's the only way you can expand your knowledge or consciousness. Only when you open up, and then we can understand, explain to you, but then many others also benefit from it, right? I used to be very introvert. Okay, till 2002, I was very good at my career as well and studies, but I'm very introvert. I was not opening up at all. After meditation, whatever I am today, and even just the whole growth as a business leader and as a spiritual teacher, all happened after meditation. And I said one day, I decided, okay, who cares what others think of me? If I'm not able to express well, I'm not able to speak well, or if I just speak something wrong, who cares? If somebody makes an opinion of me, and then suddenly out of nothing, then I say, okay, they better not have them only in my life. If people can judge us very easily and then make an opinion, they call us with names, then who cares about them, right? We don't need to. So that gave me so much of liberation in just expressing myself. Right? So if there's any kind of that fear of, that's what happens, right? No, we got to just make a decision for ourselves. And so right now, after 2 weeks of meditation, I bet each of you have adequate strength now to be able to open up and then just overcome that fear of failure, fear of looking bad, right? Robin Sharma says in his book that whatever that monk who sells Ferrari, whatever that we fear most, we just jump into that thing. The way to overcome a fear is by just jumping into that thing you fear most once. It's only has to be done once. So a fear of opening up in the public, right? You just do it once. Muster some courage and say, yes, I'm doing, I don't really care what happens, but I'm doing it now. And just muster courage and do it once. And the whole universe conspires to come forward and then help you in that. And then they always come out flying colors and say, wow, that's great. I did a fantastic job. Okay, this is how we go forward in life. And this meditation is supporting you, and then you no longer have to doubt your abilities anymore, right? Because it's science. You're doing the process, it's got to have the benefit. It's science. It is there. Yes, madam.
Thank you, sir. Whatever you said is totally true. I just joined this 21-day program, and in the past, like you said, I even though I'm technically good, I have fear of talking in front of audience. Like I only talk within like limited who I am familiar with, I can present anything. But when I have to present something, in front of the big group like directors or VPs, I always had fear. And before the meeting, I used to always think like I wish this meeting was postponed for some other day, but it never happened. And I have to present in front of them, and somehow I could manage it. But nowadays, I'm I have overcome that fear, and I'm ready for anything, and whatever challenges come towards me, I'm there to take it and win it. Whatever you said is it's really true, and I really enjoying this meditation, and I have seen a lot of difference in me. And the other thing what I see is like I'm joining the morning and evening session every day, and I always have a feeling like I always want to join. I always want to do meditation. Like throughout the day, I wish like if I have some time, I just want to go sit into the meditation, and that is really it is really making me happy, and I'm happy all the time. And it's yeah, even though I'm doing the meditation, sometimes I do see visions, and sometimes I don't see anything. And the other thing is like I don't remember at the end of the meditation, but still it's every day is a new experience. And thank you to everyone who is supporting us, and making this bringing a different change in all of us. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
I agree with you. You should let go. Further, keep pulling them up till they share. And I think they should.
A lot of
See,
times,
in IEMS, we have something called a class participation.
okay.
Anywhere ranging from 20% to 40% marks in class participation. I think these people are not used to that. So you have to have class participation. They'll get a score only if they participate. Otherwise, they don't get.
Initial days of when I was asked to share experience, I used to feel the shyness, because I used to think, oh, I don't have any experience. What am I going to share? I don't have any experience. What I did not know was just talking about my understanding of the process, and then not having an experience itself is an experience. So just I did not know about it. And I started talking and said, hey, when I meditate, my breath becomes a little faster. And so when breath is becoming faster, I'm getting distracted. And along the way, I was saying, because as I was getting distracted, my thoughts are coming. So now I was trying to control my thought. Just when I said those words, immediately the teacher said, oh, you're controlling thoughts? Who said you control thoughts? There's nothing called control. Because a lot of times we go into it. I didn't even know that I'm actually controlling thought, right? Because I was distracted, so thoughts are coming. Then I started trying to control the thought by cutting the thought. And then I said, no, there's no cutting the thought. Just that simple sharing helped them to correct me where I don't control thought. Instead, I should be observing the breath back again. The breath becomes fast or slow when I observe. Then obviously we get distracted. So the way to do it is, yes, if at that point, continue to observe the breath, but don't control the thought, right? Small nuances like this, when we share, we'll get to know, right? You don't have to have an experience in the first place. Instead, we just have to share how you're doing, what's happening to you when you're doing it. I think that itself is very important to cross over the first step, right? Because otherwise, what happens? 6 months later, you'll try and try and try, and then, for example, if no benefit, then you feel like meditation doesn't work for you, right? And the process is, everybody feels different, everybody experiences something different, and as a result, there's no one size fits all when it comes to meditation, because everybody is an independent person, and so your experience can be different from other. While we talk about a technique and experience, it can be different, and it is better to talk about what you are experiencing, and then get that clarity from here or from your team facilitator, right? Yes, Mirabai.
I'm a teacher at college. So most of the problem is people are coming from villages and also they don't have a communication skills problem in English. So if we allow them to talk in any language, they may open up, I think.
Yes, no, that's a very good point. Thank you for raising. So, yes, if someone wants to speak in Tamil, or Telugu, or Kannada, right? Feel free. I think there are enough people who can translate it or give back an appropriate answer on it. Feel free to raise your hand and speak in Tamil. Thank you, ma'am, for pointing that out.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shirisha.
Yes.
I'm from Bangalore. I'm a law graduate. Before I would share my experience, I would say why I hesitated. I'd actually shared my experience in the breakthrough session and I thought it would be redundant. And also, I had severe headache today before the meditation session as well. And I'm still suffering from it, which is why I thought I'm not in a good state to share my experience. But then after I heard you say you would not give up until one of us spoke, I decided I should speak. And it's fine to share the same experience with a larger audience. I had a goal for myself, and but then I was lacking that discipline and the focus for that, sir. Which is why I wanted a meditation as a means to reach that end. I wanted to get that concentration and discipline in my life, and luckily, with someone's WhatsApp status, I got to know about this course, and I joined. This was my first-handed, consistent meditation session, and I've been consistently practicing this all the days from day one. And I cannot say I've experienced a great change or my thoughts have drastically reduced, but I haven't given up hope. I remember Pradeep sir saying that every day unconsciously we will be improving somewhere, and that thread will be building up to make a fine rope one day. So I've kept at it. But there are a few changes which I've noticed that I would like to share. So first week when I was doing this meditation, I observed that a lot of thoughts that I got were repetitive. It was about the same things, and throughout the entire 30-minute session, it was the same thoughts that were coming. So I realized what was distracting me, and I tried to focus on that and decided to reduce paying attention to such distracting activities throughout my day. So it was just a TV show, which I thought 1 hour would not make much of a difference in my life. I can watch that show. But then when I saw it repetitively come in my thoughts, I decided I need to stop watching that show. So I drastically reduced the time I would be spending on that show. That made a difference. And coming to another thing where Ravindra sir and Pradeep sir had shared their experience and told how our thoughts and feelings is what makes us. So I felt depressed and sad because of a situation at home. Generally, I take time to get over such incidences, probably 2 or 3 days. But this time, because I remembered that saying that your thought is what makes you, I decided that I should give positivity to myself. I should do things that changes my thoughts and feelings. And so I chose to do things that I love doing the most, which is I spent more time dancing that day and read good books. So this way my thoughts totally changed, and I got out of that depressing situation that day itself. So I was really happy that this benefited me in such a good way. And even this week, my thoughts hasn't drastically reduced, I'm still consistently working towards it. And like you already mentioned, sir, probably thoughts are not getting reduced because once thought is there, we're paying attention towards the thought and not about bringing back our attention towards the breath. I realized this mistake and trying to work towards it. Rather than paying attention to the thought during meditation, I should get my focus back to breath. That's it, sir. So I'm really thankful that I'm undergoing this session. I've seen a good change in myself and would like to consistently meditate over the years. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, Sirisha. That's great. Thoughts are not going to go away, so don't even bother about them.
Yes, sir.
After 20 years, I still have some sessions full of thoughts. So in meditation, the first thing to understand is there is not an expectation that in any session you will be fully out of thought. Any session, it is not an expectation at all, because they are going to be there. If thoughts were not there, then we do not have to have this life. They will be there, right? And what happens over a period of time? So in every session, we will be always oscillating between thoughts and breath. Breath means as you observe the breath, slowly you will become bringing your thoughts down, and then they'll be suddenly out of somewhere, Some switch happens, you may go into a thoughtless state for a long time, and then you come back into thoughts. Okay, so it's always be thoughts and no thoughts, thoughts and no thoughts. All right. So we don't even have to try to reduce the thought. Neither have to think out, because it's a common phenomena as part of meditation. We have to accept that thoughts are there in every meditation. Right. So, but then what is important is when we're training, every day to train to observe the breath. Every time we think that thoughts are there, then that time you observe the breath. So by observing the breath and you're training, every day you're trying to bring your attention back, you're repeating. So you're learning the skill of observing the breath. So now after about 2 weeks, it would be much more easy for you to bring your attention back to the breath compared to day one. That's all. Because you're forming the stronger. So as a result, what happens, anytime thoughts are there, which is common, let's accept it. And then feel good about or not good about them, at least stay neutral about them, because thoughts are going to be there. But then immediately we realize, and the brain goes into autopilot mode and brings the attention back to the breath. Because in your mind, the moment you close your eyes and say meditation, it knows what it has to do is to bring your attention to the breath, and automatically it's going to happen. So you feel it becomes effortless. That's all. Okay. So the more we continue to do that, the more times we sit down and close our eyes and then put that thing that, okay, meditation, then observation coming to the breath, right? And then slowly as that is increasing, then your amount of time you stay with the breath increases. And hence the amount of time the breath becomes shorter increases, and hence the number of thoughts decreases, and the amount of time you are in emptiness increases. This all happen automatically without our effort, right? Okay.
So one more thing, sir.
Yeah.
So it came as a blessing in disguise. I decided that I would dance before I sit for meditation, because then I can calm down. But again, probably because of laziness or because I have to dance alone, I never was interested in doing that. I didn't do it for the first 3 days. And luckily the session itself, they said that from 5 to 10 onwards, people would dance. Again, first 2-3 days, I was hesitant because I thought others would judge me as to how I would dance or whatever. But then I saw Sapna ma'am and a few others who were enjoying it so much. And I believe that joy transcends all virtual boundaries. Ma'am, I guess, is from US. But then I could feel that happiness when she danced, and that made me switch on my video and dance without any inhibitions. I'm thankful for that as well, sir. Thank you.
That's great. So you crossed multiple inhibitions, and this is an opportunity, right? There's an opportunity, and you only had to do once, right? Now you feel so free to dance again?
Yes, sir. I was never shy of dancing or never restricted, but I just probably was that laziness or loneliness that I have to dance all alone. But now it's not like that anymore.
Okay, that's great. Anybody else? Anyone else? Wonderful, it's fine. So the part I want to just close with is, and I'll just have Ravindra or Pradeep say something, is books. Successful people, if you want to be successful, if you really want to be successful, then we follow what successful people are doing. How many of you know Bill Gates? How many of you know Bill Gates? Say yes in the chat. You can say yes in the chat or no. If you know Bill Gates, say yes. Have you heard of Bill Gates? Have you heard of Microsoft? Anybody else? Yes. Okay, thank you. I see that you're connected to the world. So Bill Gates carries a basket full of books every week. New set of books. A basket full. When I was doing the documentary, there are about 20 books are there in that. Every week, his assistant recycles all the books. Changes the books to something different. And they're all in a wide variety of subjects, dear friends. No wonder he is handling so many things worldwide, He's built, it'll be amazing when you see the documentary. They built a system for poor countries where power is not there. So they built a system which from toilet flushing, all of that goes back into a without power, because power is not there, right? So you need to have without power. Then with that energy, you're able to produce fresh water on one side and also some electricity on the other side, and then light up, as well as get it all clean. Self-generation. They invested money into it. They invest money into vaccinations. They invest, of course, time into getting Microsoft further along, right? So many things he's doing, not one, not two, many, many things across the board. But the Bill Gates has been one of the very, very successful persons. Now he's meditating, by the way. Mindfulness is there on top of his mind. Satya Nadella, current CEO of Microsoft, meditating. Twitter co-founder, meditating. But all of them and all the business leaders have one thing in common: books. Successful leaders are reading at least one book every 2 weeks. Whereas you and I probably before meditation we're all reading perhaps one book 6 months. How many people are reading a book, at least a book every month? Something other than your curriculum. If you're not reading, and if you want to be successful, you want to be latch on to the opportunities, dear friends, is about reading books. You must read books. Abdul Kalam, he says his books have been his closest friends. His closest companions for Abdul Kalam ji was books. You know, this book, My Journey, by Abdul Kalam, book about Abdul Kalam itself. There are so many books like this we can read. Inspirational or spiritual. Not the detective. You can read those also. I'm not saying not. You can have them. But then substitute some of the books that vary, because everything, when you read a book for next 4 or 5 days, you will be full of those thoughts, dear friends. The reason we're doing book clubs is for inculcating that habit, number one. And then number two, expand our consciousness, because some of the books we read are amazing. That book, You Are the Placebo, I think we're reading, right? We're reading the book, You Are the Placebo. It just opens up the doors into the world of creation, manifestation significantly. There isn't anything that you can't manifest in your life when you attend that book club on You Are the Placebo or Biology of Belief, right? So this is something that I've been doing tremendously. I've read thousands of books on meditation and then continue to expand. And you want to be successful in whatever you dream of, and then pick a book and then start reading, because then it just amazingly opens up many doors for you. With that, thank you all. Nirmala madam, how is it going?
No, people should come out, sir. They have to express that. They have to clear their doubts. That's the only point. Otherwise, Pradeep and Ravindra sir, they have really done very well these days. They have to take advantage at least these 4 days. That's what my request is.
Hi, Sudha madam.
So I think everyone is like, they're opening up in chats, but yeah, I guess as rightly mentioned by Mirabai ma'am, due to language issues, or I don't know what it is, but they're opening up, sir. Yes. And it was really good these 4 days. Both of them, Ravindra and Pradeep.
Shirisha and Sindhu, absolutely.
Yes, sir. They were really good.
Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful, really. Yes, sir.
So friends, we'll have the last week of the book clubs this Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So do read. The Friday we'll be having the Biology of Belief, and then Saturday and Sunday we'll continue with Conversation with God for teens. So yeah, I'm sure most of you enjoyed on the first week, but in the second week we didn't see any participation. Hope you'll come back again. We'll have a nice ball of time in those book clubs. As Sar was saying, please pick up those books. So this habit I had developed 2 years back, and I'm enjoying it like anything. You'll apart from meditation, this is another aspect which helps us to expand and to see things in a bigger way, and to develop that emotional coefficient at times where you are in need of it the most. That's it, sir. Yeah. See you all again tomorrow, 5:10 p.m.
Yes. Hi, Janji sir. Thank you for continuing to give your time and encouraging everybody.
Thank you. I will be here. Don't worry. Another 4 days also, and make any comments if necessary. I think they're doing well, and they'll pick it up.
Yes, sir. Most likely, I'm requesting Karthikeyan sir to join us in one of the days on 12th or 13th, but not confirmed yet, but let's see that. Have a great day, everybody.